Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a little chatty video. We're going to go through some palettes. We're going to do a tag today and it's the palette that represents tag. This tag, I first seen it from Batty Bean, aka Betty Jean. I seen it on her channel, but she got it from, let me get the name. So she got it from Angelica Lyramar. I think I'm saying that name correctly. But I don't watch this girl's YouTube. I just got it. I know that she originated it, I think. Yeah, she did. She created it. So it's her tag, but I seen it on Betty Jean's channel. So essentially with this tag, it's basically a prompt. So a palette that represents something. And you pick a palette that represents that in your collection. And it's very exciting. I've already picked out all my palettes. I'm cheating on one of them, which is the very first one, so please excuse me on that one, but I can't not. But I'm very happy with all my choices. I think I've represented myself in each category very well. So yeah, we're going to get into it. There's 8, so it's not too long. Shouldn't take me too long unless I ramble too much. So let's go and do our tag. Also, I will preface this to say that I'm not picking any palettes that I haven't already physically used yet. So any of the ones that are in my collection I haven't used yet, I'm not picking any of those because I haven't used them yet, so I don't know how much I like them and if they would represent that feeling in me, like over other palettes in my collection. Like if I was to pick one of the prompts is happy, if I didn't like the formula, it doesn't make me happy. You know what I mean? So I'm not picking any ones that I don't know the formula just yet. Just before we get into it, as per usual, bit of housekeeping. This look is filmed. It will be live on the channel soon. If it's not already, if it won't be up already, if it's coming up, I don't know whether it's up or I don't know about my schedule or anything like that, but it will be up soon, so go subscribe down below to see when that is going up. And also the pictures will be up on my Instagram as soon as the video goes live. So let's get into our prompts. So I'm going to be looking off my phone from Betty Jean's channel. So the first one is, if you would pick a palette, an eyeshadow palette in your collection that represents me color story wise. So this is color story because the next one is packaging. First one is color story. So this is the one I've cheated on a little bit, but I'll give you the one that straight away is the one that I picked, and then the one that I'm putting in as an honorable mention. So the one that I think the color story represents me, because I know it's stuff that I do a lot. It's colors that I like to use a lot. It's colors that I gravitate towards a lot, and it's also for me a color story that people would probably put towards me, and that is the Beauty Bay Wilderness palette. I know, but it's green. There's greens in it and there's limey greens. There's a little touch of neutral just if you feel it, just if you're feeling it. That can be a little bit grungy too. You've got depth here and depth with each of the colours, like the dark greens and stuff like that. The shimmers are stunning. There's a bit of duochrome. I'd probably swap that out for something else. But anyway, overall this color story represents me quite a bit. It's something that if I only had this palette, I could do a lot with it. So I think that's for me. And then the other I'm not going to even say honorable mention, my other pick, because this definitely represents me a lot, and you probably already know which one it is. This is the Batty Bean and Shred Cosmetics It's Freaking Bats palette, because again, it's a bit grungy. There's limey green, chartreusey, there's depth again, there's put colours like duochromes, purples, little bit of weird, and it's spooky themed basically. And that's just me. Again, I literally after I filmed this tutorial, I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre the 2022 one on Netflix. I watched that because I love spooky things. I love horror movies and I love spooky things, but this is just a very me color. So I always pick this in these sort of videos where I'm chatting about palettes because it probably is my favorite palette in my whole collection. Next up then is which palette. Well, I'm not going to read how the prompt is said because it's very long. It's the same for each one. But basically, which palette represents me packaging-wise? And which palette does represent me packaging-wise? I've gone with the Muerte palette from Melt. I know you can't get this palette anymore, but again, there's a bit of colour. It's a little bit grungy and it's a skull. I had an obsession with things with skulls on them, like skull scarves, skull keyrings. I had a skull phone case for years. And I'm talking about the old Nokia phone. That's how old I am. I still have skulls around. I bought skulls. I'm obsessed with Halloween. I'm obsessed with spooky things and skulls. And I had an obsession with pirates as of Pirates of the Caribbean. So skulls, Jolly Rogers, all that kind of stuff. I love it all. So the fact that there is a skull on this, it's beautiful. Now the colour story also. This also almost made it into the one that represents me color story wise, because look at that color story. Depth, grunge, all that kind of stuff, the color scheme here, but just the fact that it's all like, there's like a beautiful like filigree sort of pattern around the mirror and all that kind of stuff. The back has all the flowers, the floral pattern. Beautiful, just beautiful. Number 3, a palette that represents spring. I wish it was it's not, but I wish there was a spring, summer, autumn, winter. That would be fun. I've gone for the Kaleidos Flower Punk palette because one, like the front of it is all floral. Whenever I think of spring, I think florals, I think pastels, I think soft colours, but colours, no real like grunginess to it. I love the packaging, and then the inside, let me just show you. She's a little bit grubby, please excuse, she's very well loved, I must say. But there we go. So again, there is a bit of grunge because we've got these darker shades in here, but look at these pastels over this side. And again, like, there's very few palettes that I buy that don't have this colour in it because I love this kind of colour. But I love the kind of variety I can get with it with such simple colour schemes. So like you've got all your greens here, you've got a selection of pinks and 2 blues, and I can still get a lot of colours and a lot of themed looks and a lot of mix and match between them. So yeah, I think that's my spring palette. Again, it's all the softness, but I have the option to go a bit darker if I feel like it, depending on how I apply the colours. The shimmers are nothing but magical. And yeah, nothing short of amazing from Kaleidos as usual. Number 4 is the palette that represents happy. And this is, I'm pretty sure, the first palette my boyfriend ever bought me. And that's not the only reason why it's my happy palette. It's the Zulu palette from Julia's Place, and it's my happy palette because look at these colours. Doesn't that just scream happiness to you? It does to me anyway. Like, I would maybe have made this darker or even more of a, like a really dark blue, maybe. I think that would be fun. Like a deep, have I got a blue around? Like, not quite a navy, like a cobalty kind of blue. I don't know, can you see my Kiehl's box there? Like that kind of blue there, like a dark blue. I would have taken that one out because then you still have a good range of colours, but you still have a bit of depth in it. Now, I love this palette. This green is one of my favourite greens in my whole collection. Again, this is another palette with a lime green in it. There's a theme going on here. But the teals are stunning. The pink, the purple. And you've got your Hayley Williams Dream up here. Like, that to me is just a little happy palette. Again, it's another palette where I feel like I can get a lot of looks out of it. And I just pair it with certain things to get more out of it. Or, do you know what this would be good as? This would be good as like a purple shimmer, like a lilac shimmer. Lilac shimmer, that's what I would have changed that one to. But it's still my happy palette. I still love this palette. Next up for number 5, we have got the palette that represents dark / grunge. I should have picked 2. I'm going to pick another one actually, because that's technically 2 things. I'm cheating again, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm cheating, I know, but dark / grungy, 2 different things to me. So we're going to go for dark, and surprisingly, I'm going for this palette. Probably not that surprising, but I'm going for the Shroud Arcana palette because to me this is dark. This is what I like in dark. This is like a dark, colourful palette. This would be like a dark version of the Wilderness palette. All the mattes that are dark are like very muted, very murky sort of colours. Even the shimmers, they're all a bit murky. Everything is a bit, you know what I mean? Like, do you get that kind of feeling? I don't know if you do. I don't know what that is, but whatever. Like, I just get darkness and like the vibes and the witchiness and just all of that kind of stuff out of this palette. So to me that's dark, but that's just, I cheated and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. And in the one that I did actually pick for this section, which is the grunge section, which if you know my collection and know a palette that I have in this collection, you already know which one I've picked. It's the Give Me Glow grunge palette. It's in the name. This one almost got picked for packaging as well because this is very like against skulls, kind of rock, punky kind of vibes to it, guitars, just music, all that kind of stuff. Very early 2000s kind of vibe to it. And this is the grunge palette. So this again, it could also just be dark as well, but to me this is grunge. This is like it's a bit of a mess, you know what I mean, on your eyes in the best way possible. This is also a great like Tim Burton style palette, which I love that kind of style of makeup. I probably again could do without this one, or maybe make that a really light shimmer, something like that. But you can go super dark. You've got your browns. You could do neutral. You can do a little bit of colour again, but that real like like tired kind of look to the eyes, that's where your grunginess is going to come into this. I just love this palette. I haven't used it nearly enough as I should. I definitely want to bust this out more. Next up is the palette that represents the girly in me. Now, I have a bit of a girly vibe. I'm not a tomboy kind of style, like I'm not real, I don't do sports, I'm not into any of that kind of thing. I have an element of girly, but I have an element of grunge to me, so they're my two kind of styles. Think a goth Tinkerbell. You know, you get the vibe, but I'm not goth. But you know the vibe of that, like a dark kind of, yeah, like that kind of style. So, to me, girly means pretty, it means sparkly, it means, in some people it means pink, but doesn't necessarily mean pink in me. Like this to me is quite girly kind of look, because it's like neutral lip, got my dangles on, and curled my hair. That to me is very girly. So the palette that I've picked for this is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. It's very, very girly palette to me. But basically this has got softness, you've got some depth down here, you've got some very interesting sort of colours with like the blue kind of duochrome, like kind of hybrid glitter eyeshadow sort of style, but you've got your neutral to do your very romantic looks as well. There's really interesting colours in this. This to me is like a really fun girly palette. I can get a lot of looks out of this. I've done a couple of videos. I've done videos on every palette that I'm going to show in this video anyway, so that's kind of, you can go and reference back to see the looks I've created. Actually, I created a look very similar to the one I have on me right now using this palette. But yeah, I just think it's a really fun, like, I don't know, it's like an interesting girly palette. It's not just pinks, it's not just neutrals, it's not just glam. There's a bit of weird, and I'm a bit of weird. We're on the home stretch. Second last question, number 7, is the palette that represents fun. Fun. Okay, now this is also could have been a girly palette just for the packaging alone. I've gone with the Glamlight and Michaela palette for the fun palette. So it's a big one. She's a big one. She is a big one. So fun to me is lots of options. Fun to me is many looks I can do, being really creative with a palette, and that's why I went for this one, which is a bigger style palette with a lot more colours into it, but still very well thought through. Not just a rainbow palette, we're not going for that kind of vibe. There is neutrals if I want the option there. I've done a very grungy look with this. I've done obviously many videos with this. And you've got like your purples, you've got your greens, you've got a little bit of yellow, you've got a little bit of blue. Did I use that blue? Yeah, I did use that blue. And you've got beautiful, beautiful shimmers. The shimmers in this palette are so, so stunning. I think for me, I want to jump in again and see what else I can create with it. I didn't use the yellow in this, and I didn't use this green bonehead, which I really want to use. But I think this for me is fun. When I got this and I started swatching it, I was like, oh, get me into this palette. I want to dive straight in. So that's fun to me, and that's the palette. I should really clean these palettes before I show them. I'm a slob when it comes to my eyeshadows. My manager will be so disappointed in me. And the final question, number 8, is the palette that represents inspiration. And I kind of knew exactly which one I wanted to pick for this. Just this one I feel like just gives me loads of options. It really inspires me with the colours and the range of things I can do with it in a not massive palette like the Glamlight one, although that one is also very inspiring. This one is a little bit smaller, so it gives me a little bit more to kind of have a little bit more thought to put into it. So this is the Kaleidos and Angelica Nyqvist Club Nebula palette. You can't get this anymore, but she has got a collab out with Odin's Eye at the minute, so check that out. That's also, it's on the way to me as I'm filming this. I don't know about when it arrives, I'm not sure. But this palette, firstly, packaging, this could have won the packaging one as well. This is your colour story. Now, you've got so much depth in your mattes, which, you know, Angelica was going to do that. She loves her dark mattes. Again, like, do you see this colour? Just, I just gravitate towards it. And you've got beautiful shimmers that can be toppers or used on their own. So they do have some sort of it, like, I wouldn't say transparent, translucent base, where you can build them up to get them to be like full colour, because I've done many looks with them. But you can also layer them on top of the shimmers in here. You've got a little element of neutral, so you can get a neutral look out of it. But I just feel like the duochrominess, the range of shimmers, the way the shimmers match. I've done a full peach look with this. I've done a green look with it. I've done a kind of grungy sort of look. And I've done like a really like what would be the word, cosmic kind of blue, pink, purple kind of look with it as well. Stunning. I love, love, love this colour story. I always want to jump back into it, but I feel bad not with people not being able to get it anymore. But if you want me to do a video on any of the palettes in this, then let me know. Okay, so that is the tag. I'm very happy with my choices. I was sitting on my floor for ages trying to pick out. I was taking palettes out, putting them back, taking them out, putting them back. I made like piles with multiple, so for the ones that represent me color story wise, I had like 4 palettes picked out, and then I whittled it down, and then, like, you know what I mean. So this was a process. It took me about half an hour to do just the prep to get the palettes out for this. As I said down below, if you want to see any more videos with these palettes, because I've already done videos on all of them, let me know down below. I'll throw in a get ready with me, I'll do an Instagram video, I'll do whatever you want me to do, a TikTok video, whatever you want me to do. Follow me and all those down there, and you'll see something come up if you do want me to. But let me know down in the comments. Also, let me know down in the comments, what are your picks for each of these categories? I'm very interested to hear what your thoughts are. I love hearing what people gravitate towards, what kind of color stories they love, what kind of, like, what makes them feel very inspired, what gives them a kind of grungy, what do they go for grunge, what's your palette for grunge, because I love a grunge. So let me know all that down below in the comments. I will have a list of the actual questions down below so you can follow along as we go. If you did like this video, then give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, get me around to more people, and also let me know that you like the video, and I will continue to do many more. I love doing a tag. I'm very into doing a tag. I have many tags saved on my phone, but if you have any more tags you want me to, again, leave a comment down below and let me know what tag and where to find it and all the questions. You don't have to give me all the questions, but where to find it so I can find all the questions. Also, hit subscribe down below to see many more videos coming up. We've got lots of palettes. We've got more palettes that aren't any of these coming up unless you want me to do more palette videos with these. And also we've got more tag videos coming up as well, because I've got lots of those, plus Lush videos, because I always love adding in my Lush video monthly. And as I said in the beginning, go follow my Instagram and TikTok, which is linked down below. I'm trying to get more into posting regularly and posting a bit more content on the stories, posting a little bit more product shots, all that kind of stuff, which will be coming up soon. I have a few things prepared, so I'm hoping to start doing that soon. So I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.